Have you ever felt like someone in your life has suddenly changed toward you? Maybe a friend, a coworker, or even a family member. Do they act differently, more distant, critical, or even passive-aggressive? Could it be jealousy? Jealousy is a powerful emotion, and when left unchecked, it can turn people against you, sometimes without you even realizing it. It can start subtly, small remarks, a change in attitude, or a shift in how they treat you in public versus in private. But over time, jealousy can manifest into resentment, competition, or even outright hostility. So, how do you know when someone's jealousy is becoming a real problem? What are the warning signs that someone's envy is leading them to act against you? Before we get into the 6 key signs, make sure to like this video, share with others who might need to hear this, and subscribe to the channel for more insightful content like this. Now, let's dive in. Sign number 1. They start downplaying your achievements. One of the earliest and most telling signs of jealousy turning into resentment is when someone starts belittling your accomplishments. Instead of celebrating your success, they act indifferent, dismissive, or even subtly condescending, making it seem as if your achievements are not as significant as they truly are. At first, their reactions may appear harmless or even playful, but over time, these small jabs can become emotionally exhausting. For example, imagine you receive a well-deserved promotion at work. Rather than expressing genuine happiness for you, a jealous friend or colleague might say, "Well, they were probably just short on candidates," or "I guess they had to promote someone." These seemingly offhand remarks chip away at the pride and joy you should feel about your success. Over time, hearing such comments repeatedly can cause you to doubt your own worth and accomplishments, making you feel like your hard work is insignificant or easily replaceable. Similarly, if you share personal milestones, such as buying your first home, getting accepted into a prestigious program, or even hitting a fitness goal, their response might be a half-hearted "must be nice," or "you just got lucky." These comments serve as subtle ways to diminish your hard work and dedication, making it seem like your success was merely a stroke of fortune rather than the result of effort and perseverance. This kind of reaction can leave you feeling deflated, as though your achievements are not worth celebrating because they aren't acknowledged by those you consider close. This behavior stems from a deeper issue. Your success reminds them of what they feel they lack. Instead of using your accomplishments as motivation to work toward their own goals, they attempt to devalue yours to make themselves feel better. This can be especially apparent in people who are struggling with their own self-worth or personal progress. Rather than confronting their own insecurities, they find solace in minimizing others' triumphs. They may even begin to compare your journey with theirs, downplaying the effort you put in by saying things like, "If I had your resources, I could have done that too," or "You had an unfair advantage." These remarks show that they are not truly recognizing your success, but are instead looking for ways to rationalize their own shortcomings. In some cases, these individuals may not just downplay your achievements, but actively try to undermine them. They might spread rumors, point out minor flaws in your success, or subtly suggest that you don't truly deserve what you've earned. For instance, if you land a dream job, they might say, "I heard that company isn't doing well financially," or "I bet you had some inside help to get in." This creates an atmosphere of negativity and doubt, making it difficult for you to fully enjoy your moment of success. Over time, their persistent negativity can create a toxic environment where you feel pressure to downplay your own achievements in order to avoid conflict or discomfort. The emotional toll of this kind of behavior can be significant. Instead of feeling uplifted by those around you, you may start questioning whether you should even share your wins at all. Over time, this can lead to self-doubt, frustration, and even a sense of isolation. You may find yourself avoiding conversations about your accomplishments, keeping your successes to yourself, or even feeling guilty for doing well. This can have a profound effect on your self-esteem and overall well-being, as you start internalizing the negativity directed at you. So, how should you handle it? First, recognize the pattern and understand that their reaction is a reflection of their own insecurities, not a measure of your success. You don't need to seek validation from someone who refuses to give it. Surround yourself with people who genuinely support and uplift you. Positive, encouraging relationships are crucial for maintaining a healthy mindset and emotional balance. Second, if you feel comfortable, You can address the behavior directly. A simple, "I've noticed you don't seem happy for me when I share good news. Why is that?" might open up a conversation that helps clear the air. If they are willing to acknowledge their behavior and work on it, the relationship may be salvageable. However, if their response is defensive or dismissive, it may be a sign that they are not willing to change. Lastly, if their negativity becomes persistent and toxic, consider distancing yourself from them. It's important to protect your peace and well-being. Your achievements should be celebrated, not downplayed, and you deserve to be surrounded by people who respect and encourage your growth. Removing toxic influences from your life can help you regain confidence in your success and allow you to fully embrace the joy of your accomplishments without fear of judgment or resentment. Recognizing this sign early can help you protect your energy and maintain positive relationships with those who truly support you. The way people react to your success speaks volumes about their character. Real friends celebrate with you, while those consumed by jealousy seek to diminish you. Stay mindful of how those around you respond to your victories, and never let someone else's insecurities dim your shine. Sign number 2, they imitate you but with competitive edge. Imitation is often considered a form of flattery, a natural response when people admire someone. It can be harmless and even endearing when a friend picks up a phrase you often use or starts sharing an interest in your favorite music. However, when jealousy is involved, imitation takes on an entirely different nature, one that is rooted in competition rather than admiration. You might begin to notice that this person mirrors your actions, but not just because they like what you do. Instead, their goal is to compete with you, to match and eventually surpass your achievements. What initially seems like a coincidence soon becomes a pattern. You mention a new hobby, and suddenly they take an interest in it too. But rather than enjoy alongside you, they strive to become better at it, subtly turning it into a contest. Take, for example, fashion choices. If you start dressing in a particular style, they might adopt the same look, but with a little extra effort to make themselves stand out more. If you upgrade to a new car, they quickly start looking into purchasing a fancier or more expensive one. If you get a promotion at work, they immediately begin pushing harder to prove they can do the same or better. Their imitation isn't about admiration. It's about proving something to you, to themselves, and to others. At its core, this behavior often stems from deep insecurity. Instead of feeling inspired by your progress, they feel threatened. They see your success as something that highlights their own shortcomings, making them feel as though they are falling behind. In an effort to combat this feeling, they attempt to mirror your achievements, believing that if they can do everything you do, but better, they can maintain a sense of self-worth. However, this mindset creates an unhealthy dynamic. Instead of supportive friendship, where both individuals encourage each other's growth, it turns into a quiet, ongoing rivalry. Every accomplishment you achieve becomes a challenge for them to outdo. And while they may not openly acknowledge this competition, their actions make it clear. You may start to feel like you're being watched, like every step you take is being measured and countered. What makes this behavior particularly draining is the fact that it isn't always overt. Unlike direct competition, where two individuals openly strive to be the best, competitive imitation is often subtle and unspoken. The person mimicking you won't necessarily tell you that they are trying to surpass you, but their behavior tells a story. Their social media presence may suddenly become filled with posts showcasing their latest achievements that suspiciously align with your own recent successes. Conversations with them might shift toward comparisons, with them subtly downplaying your wins while highlighting their own. This type of imitation can extend beyond material possessions and accomplishments. It can even influence personality traits. If you are known for being charismatic and outgoing, you might notice that they start adopting similar mannerisms, cracking the same jokes, or even using your specific phrases. If you are known for excelling in particular skill, they may suddenly immerse themselves in mastering it as well. Over time, this can create a sense of identity erosion, making it feel as though they are encroaching on what makes you unique. This kind of competitive imitation can be exhausting, especially when it comes from someone close to you. It can make you question their intentions and leave you feeling like you're constantly being sized up rather than appreciated for who you are. Genuine friendships and healthy relationships thrive on mutual encouragement, not unspoken battles for superiority. Recognizing this behavior early on can help you set boundaries. If you notice that someone is consistently mirroring your actions in a competitive way, it might be time to reassess the relationship. True friends will celebrate your success without feeling the need to outdo you. They will support your journey without trying to make it their own. Understanding this can help you surround yourself with people who truly uplift you rather than those who see you as a benchmark they must surpass. If setting boundaries isn't enough, addressing the issue directly may be necessary. Have an open conversation with the person in question and express your observations. Sometimes, individuals who engage in this behavior may not even realize they're doing it, as their insecurities are operating on a subconscious level. By bringing it to their attention, you may be able to help them recognize and change their behavior. At the same time, it's important to focus on your own path without getting caught up in the dynamics of their competition. Continue striving for personal growth, making decisions based on your own interests rather than worrying about who is trying to keep up. In the end, staying true to yourself is the best way to rise above the noise and maintain your own sense of authenticity and confidence. Sign number 3. They spread subtle negativity about you. Jealous people often won't attack you directly. Instead, they use more subtle, manipulative tactics like gossip or backhanded compliments. Their goal is to chip away at your reputation without making it obvious that they are the source of negativity. This type of behavior is often insidious because it can be hard to detect and even harder to prove. Unlike direct criticism, which can be challenged or confronted, these subtle jabs create a slow and damaging erosion of how others perceive you. The art of the backhanded compliment. One of the most common ways a jealous person will subtly undermine you is through backhanded compliments. On the surface, their words might sound like praise, but there's always a hidden jab underneath. For example, "You've done so well for someone with no experience. I love your confidence." Not everyone could pull off that outfit. It's amazing how you manage to balance everything, even if things don't always turn out perfect. These statements may seem innocent at first, but their true purpose is to make you and others second-guess your abilities or worth. They create a lingering sense of doubt, making you question whether you truly deserve your achievements or if people secretly view you differently than you thought. In many cases, these remarks are delivered with a smile or a laugh, making it difficult to call them out without appearing overly sensitive. That's what makes them so effective. The negativity is disguised so well that it can slip under the radar, both for you and those around you. Gossip disguised as concern. Jealous individuals also tend to disguise their negativity under the pretense of concern. They might say things like, "I worry about them. They seem to be taking on too much and might burn out. They're really talented, but I hope they stay humble as they become more successful. I love them, but I notice they've been acting differently lately. I just hope they're okay." Comments like these serve a dual purpose. They make the jealous person seem like they care about you while simultaneously planting seeds of doubt in others' minds. They create a narrative where people start questioning your choices, personality, or success. Over time, this can shift how others perceive you, even if there's no real basis for concern. How this affects your reputation. The worst part about this kind of behavior is that it's difficult to confront. If you call them out, they can easily say, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that," or "You're being too sensitive." Because their negativity is wrapped in seemingly innocent remarks, others may not immediately recognize the harmful intent. However, over time, these small, subtle jabs accumulate, causing people to see you in a different light. For example, if someone repeatedly makes comment about how lucky you are rather than acknowledging your hard work, others may start to believe that your achievements are due to chance rather than effort. If they continuously suggest that you are arrogant or difficult, people may begin to scrutinize your behavior, looking for signs that reinforce this false narrative. Even worse, when this behavior spreads through a social group or workplace, it can begin to impact your opportunities. If decision makers start to view you through the lens of these subtle criticisms, you may find yourself overlooked for promotions, invitations, or collaborations without ever knowing why. What to do about it? If you suspect someone is subtly undermining you out of jealousy, it's important to stay composed and strategic. Stay aware. Pay attention to patterns in their words and behaviors. If you notice a recurring theme of backhanded compliments or disguised concern, it's not accidental. Control your reactions. Avoid getting defensive, as that could be used against you. Instead, respond with confidence and don't give them the reaction they're looking for. Strengthen your reputation. Focus on building authentic relationships with those who know and respect you. The more people trust and admire you, the harder it is for jealous individuals to influence their perception of you. Call it out if necessary. If their behavior becomes too harmful, addressing it calmly and directly can sometimes stop it. Saying something like, "I've noticed you've been making comments about me that don't feel supportive. Is there something we need to talk about?" can put them on the spot without escalating the situation. Document patterns. If this is happening in a professional setting, keeping track of instances can help if you need to report the behavior. Having concrete examples makes it easier to address the issue with managers or HR if necessary. Limit your exposure. If you recognize that someone consistently spreads negativity about you, try to minimize your interactions with them. Creating distance can help prevent their words from affecting your confidence and standing with others. Redirect the narrative. When you hear about negative things being said about you, counteract them by reinforcing your strengths and accomplishments in natural ways. Continue to showcase your skills and kindness so that others form their own opinions based on direct experience with you rather than gossip. Jealousy often manifests in ways that are difficult to detect, and spreading subtle negativity is one of the most damaging tactics. While it may not seem as direct as an overt insult or attack, it can be just as harmful over time. By staying aware of these behaviors and handling them with confidence, you can protect your reputation and keep the negativity from affecting your success. Most importantly, remember that another person's jealousy is a reflection of their own insecurities, not of your worth. Stay focused on your path and don't let their negativity define you. Sign number 4, they act different in front of others. One of the most telling signs of jealousy is when someone's behavior shifts drastically depending on the setting. When it's just the two of you, they might be distant, cold, or even dismissive. But as soon as others are around, they suddenly transform, becoming warm, friendly, and supportive, almost as if they're an entirely different person. This kind of inconsistency can be incredibly confusing. You may find yourself questioning your own perception. Are they actually a good friend, or is there something more complicated going on beneath the surface? The answer often lies in understanding the motivation behind their fluctuating behavior. Why do they act this way? Jealousy is a powerful emotion, one that many people struggle to control. When someone feels envious of you, whether it's because of your success, personality, relationships, or opportunities, they might harbor resentment. However, expressing this resentment openly can make them look bad or expose their insecurities. So, instead, they create a dual persona. In private, their jealousy takes over, making them act withdrawn or even subtly antagonistic toward you. They might downplay your achievements, dismiss your feelings, or make passive-aggressive comments. But in a public setting, they feel the need to maintain their social image. They don't want to be seen as the envious friend, so they put on a different face, one that appears kind, interested, and even supportive. This behavior serves a dual purpose. On one hand, it allows them to maintain their reputation among mutual friends or colleagues. On the other, it keeps you in a state of uncertainty, never quite sure where you stand with them. This unpredictability can leave you feeling emotionally drained and questioning whether you're imagining things. Recognizing the patterns. If you suspect someone is acting differently around others due to jealousy, look for these key patterns. Inconsistent engagement. When you're alone, they seem disengaged, barely responding to your excitement or personal news. But in a group setting, they suddenly ask questions, compliment you, or act as if they've been supportive all along. Subtle undermining. In private, they might downplay your achievements or make sarcastic comments about your success. But in front of others, they may offer forced praise or backhanded compliments that still carry a hint of negativity. Mood swings. Their demeanor changes based on who is around. If someone they admire or want to impress is in the room, they may act overly friendly toward you to seem like a good person. Public praise, private criticism. They may celebrate your accomplishments in public settings, but later make dismissive or critical remarks when it's just the two of you. How to handle this behavior. If you notice these patterns in someone's actions, the best approach is to trust your instincts. Here are a few ways to handle the situation. Don't internalize it. Their behavior is a reflection of their own insecurities, not your worth. Try not to let their inconsistencies make you doubt yourself. Address it directly. If this is someone important in your life, consider having a calm, honest conversation about the shifts you've noticed. Set boundaries. If their behavior is causing emotional distress, limit your interactions and focus on relationships that are more consistent and genuine. Observe how others react. Sometimes, mutual friends might notice the inconsistency too. If you're unsure whether you're overthinking it, see if others pick up on the same behavior. Ultimately, relationships should feel stable and supportive, not like a guessing game. If someone's attitude toward you changes depending on the audience, it's a strong sign that jealousy may be influencing their actions. Recognizing this can help you make better choices about who to invest your time and energy in. Sign number 5, they celebrate your failures. Perhaps one of the most toxic signs of jealousy is when someone secretly enjoys seeing you struggle. They may not openly admit it, but their reaction to your difficulty says it all. Instead of offering genuine support, they find ways to subtly relish your misfortunes. This kind of behavior can be emotionally draining, making it essential to recognize and address it before it starts affecting your confidence and peace of mind. It's not always easy to spot this behavior, especially since those who secretly celebrate your failures often disguise their true feelings. They might act indifferent when you share bad news, failing to offer any real comfort. Instead of showing concern, they may respond with a dismissive comment like, "Oh, that's tough," before quickly changing the subject. Their lack of empathy speaks volumes. A true friend or supporter would express sympathy, offer encouragement, or at least acknowledge your hardship in a meaningful way. Another sign to watch for is the subtle smile or a fleeting look of amusement when they hear that something didn't go your way. Their words might express regret, but their body language betrays their true emotions. They might hesitate before responding, as if savoring the moment. If you pay close attention, you may notice their tone is lighter than it should be for the situation. These small but telling cues indicate that they're inwardly pleased by your setback. Some people take it a step further by offering fake support that is laced with backhanded compliments. They might say things like, "Well, not everyone can be successful all the time," or "At least you tried." On the surface, these statements may sound neutral or even supportive, but there's often an underlying sense of smugness or condescension. Their words don't uplift you. Instead, they make you feel as though your failure was expected or inevitable. Jealousy can create a twisted sense of satisfaction in seeing others fail. Those who struggle with their own insecurities may feel better about themselves when someone else stumbles. If someone in your life seems happier when you're down rather than when you're winning, it's a clear sign that their jealousy has turned them against you. Instead of celebrating your achievements, they minimize or ignore them. But when you experience setbacks, they are suddenly engaged and interested. They may even go as far as gossiping about your struggles, spreading your misfortunes to others under the guise of concern. Another key indicator is how they react when you bounce back from a failure. If you manage to overcome your difficulties and achieve success again, do they celebrate with you? Or do they seem reluctant to acknowledge your comeback? People who secretly enjoy your failures often downplay your victories. They might change the subject, act uninterested, or make a dismissive comment to take the spotlight off your success. This behavior stems from their inability to be happy for you because your success reminds them of their own perceived shortcomings. A further sign of this toxic jealousy is when they subtly sabotage you, discouraging you from trying again or planting doubts in your mind. They might say things like, "Maybe this isn't for you," or "You don't want to go through all that stress again, do you?" These comments, disguised as concern, are actually meant to keep you from moving forward. They fear your resilience because it undermines their sense of superiority. In social settings, you might notice that they bring up your past failures as a joke, making light of your struggles in front of others. While humor can be a coping mechanism, their intention isn't to laugh with you, but at you. They might disguise their remarks as playful teasing, but deep down, it's another way to remind you and everyone else of when you didn't succeed. This consistent pattern of bringing up negative experiences rather than positive ones is a glaring red flag. Dealing with someone who takes pleasure in your failures can be challenging, but it's crucial to protect your energy. Surround yourself with people who genuinely support you, encourage you, and uplift you in both good times and bad. Recognizing toxic jealousy is the first step in ensuring that your relationships are built on mutual respect and positivity. Once you identify this behavior in someone, you have the power to set boundaries and distance yourself from those who do not genuinely wish you well. At the end of the day, your journey should be about progress, growth, and fulfillment. Those who celebrate your failures are not meant to be part of your inner circle. True supporters will stand by your side regardless of your success or struggles. Choose and prioritize those who uplift you will allow you to thrive, free from the weight of toxic jealousy. Sign number 6. They distance themselves without explanation. Jealousy can manifest in many ways, and one of the most telling signs is when someone begins to distance themselves from you without a clear reason. This can be confusing and even hurtful, especially if the person was once close to you. At first, their withdrawal may seem subtle. Maybe they take longer to respond to your messages or start turning down invitations more frequently. Over time, however, their absence becomes more noticeable, and you may find yourself wondering what changed. This behavior often occurs because jealousy creates internal conflict. Instead of addressing their emotions, some people prefer to retreat. They may feel inadequate, resentful, or simply uncomfortable around you. If they perceive your success, happiness, or personal growth as a reminder of their own shortcomings, it becomes easier for them to step away rather than face those feelings head-on. This isn't always a conscious decision. Sometimes, it's an instinctive reaction to emotions they don't know how to process. The silent withdrawal. Unlike outright hostility, which is an active response to jealousy, distancing is a passive way for someone to cope. They might not criticize you or express their envy openly, but their actions speak louder than words. You may notice they no longer engage in conversations the way they used to. They stop showing interest in your life, accomplishments, or stories. They frequently cancel plans or make excuses for why they can't meet up. They unfollow or mute you on social media to avoid seeing your updates. When you do interact, their energy feels different, more reserved, less enthusiastic. They make excuses for why they are unavailable, but seem to have time for others. They stop celebrating your milestones or achievements, even ones they would have acknowledged before. These subtle changes can be easy to overlook at first, especially if life is busy and you don't notice the gradual shift. But as time passes, the emotional distance becomes more apparent. If you reach out to them and receive vague or dismissive responses, it might be a sign that they are intentionally pulling away. Why do people distance themselves out of jealousy? Jealousy stems from comparison. When someone constantly measures themselves against you and feels like they're falling short, they may struggle with emotions like resentment, insecurity, or self-doubt. Instead of celebrating your successes, they internalize them as personal failures. For some, the pain of comparison becomes too much to handle, so they choose to remove themselves from the situation entirely. Rather than acknowledging their emotions and working through them, they take the easier route, avoidance. They may believe that by stepping away, they can escape their feelings of inadequacy or jealousy. Unfortunately, this approach only serves to isolate them further and weaken the relationship. The psychological impact of jealousy-based distancing. For both parties, this kind of emotional distancing can take a toll. On your end, you might feel confused, abandoned, or even guilty for something you didn't do. You may replay past conversations, wondering if you inadvertently caused a rift. On their end, they may struggle with lingering resentment, loneliness, and the inability to form secure, lasting relationships. People who distance themselves out of jealousy often feel a mix of admiration and bitterness. They may wish they could be happy for you, but their own insecurities prevent them from doing so. Unfortunately, rather than using these emotions as motivation to grow, they fall into patterns of avoidance that only reinforce their dissatisfaction with themselves. Can this behavior be fixed? If you notice someone distancing themselves from you, it's natural to want to address it. However, the outcome depends on the individual. Some people may be open to discussing their feelings, while others prefer to keep their emotions buried. If you feel comfortable, you can gently check in and ask if something is wrong. Let them know you value the relationship and are there if they want to talk. However, it's also important to respect their decision if they choose to keep their distance. One of the best ways to handle this is by setting clear emotional boundaries. If someone pulls away because of jealousy, it is not your responsibility to make them feel better about themselves. You can offer support, but they have to be willing to acknowledge their emotions and work through them. Recognizing the signs and protecting your energy. While it's painful to see someone drift away due to jealousy, it's crucial to remember that their reaction is not a reflection of your worth. It's easy to take their behavior personally, but their withdrawal likely has more to do with their internal struggles than with anything you've done wrong. Instead of dwelling on the loss, focus on the people who genuinely support and uplift you. True friends and loved ones will celebrate your successes, stand by you in tough times, and communicate openly rather than silently pulling away. If someone distances themselves from you without explanation, don't chase after them. Allow them the space they need, but also recognize when it's time to let go. Relationships should be based on mutual respect and positivity, not hidden resentment and avoidance. If you're on the receiving end of someone's withdrawal, don't let their jealousy define your self-worth. Stay confident. Continue growing and surround yourself with people who appreciate you for who you are rather than feeling threatened by it. So, have you noticed anyone in your life displaying these signs? Have you ever had someone distance themselves from you due to jealousy? It can be frustrating and even painful when a close friend or loved one pulls away without explanation. But remember, their behavior is often more about their own struggles than anything you've done. It's important to surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. Not everyone will be able to handle your success, happiness, or growth, but that shouldn't stop you from continuing on your journey. If you've experienced this kind of jealousy-driven distancing, how did you handle it? Did you try to reconnect? Or did you decide to let go and move on? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comment below. I'd love to hear your perspective and any advice you might have for others in a similar situation. If this video resonated with you, please take a moment to give it a like. Your support helps more than you know, and it allows me to continue creating content that provides insight and encouragement. If you know someone who might benefit from this message, share this video with them. It could be exactly what they need to hear. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I post regularly about personal growth, relationships, and navigating life's challenges, and I'd love to have you as part of this community. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.